Hi, welcome back to my show. My name is Jeetu and you're watching Impact India. Let's get started with the first news, which is Apple versus India's antitrust regulator. So this happened. Apple has accused India's competition regulator of copy pasting complaints. Basically, long story short is Apple charges a 30% commission on all the payments that happens on all Apple devices, and there are some app companies like Tinder and another company called let me catch up the name for that. I think the name is, it's a funny name. It's a non-profit called as Together We Fight Society. uh, that's a weird name. Together We Fight Society, which initiated the case in 2021. They are the ones who started this case um, of Apple being monopolistic, which I do agree with. They have a monopoly over App Store, sorry, and they are charging a 30% commission, and it's very difficult to circumvent that. I'm paying Twitter Premium on my desktop instead of my iPhone because of the 30% hike in payment, 30% commission that I have to pay to Apple. So because of that, I have to route the payment via my desktop rather than phone, which is inconvenient. And a lot of other apps don't have that facility, so it's difficult for them to give consumers an alternative option. So my opinion is that if Apple is going to abuse its monopoly, then let me remind you that the state has a monopoly over violence. I mean, it has guns, you don't. So are you sure you want to play dirty because two can play this game? That's all I'm saying. That's my opinion anyway. Let me know what you think in the comment section. The second news is a ransomware group called World Leaks. I'm not sure why a ransomware is leaking information. Shouldn't they just block your computer until you pay a ransom? Anyway, they leaked over 630 GB of data from Tata Electronics, a key Apple supplier and assembler in India, and they posted more than 200,000 files on the dark web. There were some of these consisted of sensitive data like supplier lists, mapping for unreleased iPhone 18 and iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max. There was a few photos of a gray prototype that was undergoing drop tests at Tata facilities, watermarked as Apple confidential. So my opinion on this is these are probably some fucking hippies trying to get a sneak peek onto an iPhone that is mostly going to look exactly like it did last year. There's not going to be much of a change. Maybe the flip phone, flip phone is due this year maybe, but I don't really care for this. There is a base or a cult built around this product, even though they have not been innovative for quite some time. Anyway, this is not that important. I don't know why they're risking their life and limb, not life and limb, but they're risking serious legal liability if they are caught to do this. But in any case, I couldn't give a shit about this. Okay, let's move on to the next news, which is a massive fire at Tata STD data center. Tata is not having a good week. They just had the leak, the ransomware leak, and now there's a massive fire. There was a massive fire at Tata STD data center. I'm not sure what STD stands for here. A fire at the global data center Indian facility operated with Tata Communication caused outages and raised fears of permanent data loss for some customers. The incident has sparked blah 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 debates over India is competent or not, whether do we have infrastructure or not. Well, we don't have the right infrastructure, obviously. We're slowly, really at a snail's pace getting there, and I think we might get there sooner in some fields like IT, because we have a robust ecosystem for that. And I think these kind of issues might not happen, is on par with the rest of the world. But I wouldn't say the same about actual physical hardware. We are lacking in that department. Anyway, that's my opinion. Unfortunate, but I think it could have been avoided. That's my opinion. Do let me know what you think. Now, the next news is ongoing debate about AI impact. The tech hiring hits a 28-month low in June of 2026. I did cover this in one of my previous videos, and I think it's a good thing. People should move away from the dependency that we have on Western nations for IT. Instead of building things for them, let's build it for ourselves. IT jobs are now going to be low if we decided to build things for ourselves. We can build a lot of things for India itself. We still don't have a social media of our own. We still don't have a messaging platform of our own that is actually used by a lot of people. We still don't have a lot of infrastructure, a lot of Me Too apps that the US has, but we don't have a clone for that. We don't have something equivalent to Visa that we can. UPI is an exception, but we don't have something akin to PayPal or Stripe or Twitter or something like that. So there's scope for building things in India itself. We're just not doing it. These IT companies are busy licking the butthole of other companies outside India. So building the same thing in-house, which China has done it. I mean, we should be able to do it at least after 30 years of IT investment and work and all of that. I think we should be able to now at least be able to pull this off. Maybe 30 years ago it was difficult, but now I think it should be possible. We don't have our own operating system. We don't have our own 3D modeling kernel. We use kernels from outside India, mostly Siemens NX kernel, I think. Anyway, that's my opinion. Now, the final news is workers filming themselves to train AI. Now, there are some reports coming from some Indian factory workers, coming from some Indian factories that they are using workers or putting cameras or body cams on workers to train them to collect data to train AI and robots to automate those jobs. And some stupid critics are arguing that workers are creating valuable AI training data without informed consent. What are you thinking when they're putting a camera on you? Do you think it's for show? Of course, they're collecting data to train, and additional compensation is not being given. If your job is to put a rubber into a pencil, I don't think you should deserve additional compensation. It's an easy job. Shut up, do your job, take your salary, and fuck off. I think demand and supply dictates the salary, not socialistic emotions. We are done with socialism. We tried socialism in this country for 60 years. It did not work, and then just give up on that fruitless endeavor. It doesn't work anywhere it has been tried. So shut up with that. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Do let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll see you in another show. Bye.